Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. This is actually my special series, my favorite series, truly. Heroes Always Welcome, where we talk with vets, active military, families, organizations that support our veterans, with the idea of helping vets transition out of the military into civilian life, give them ideas, inspire them, make them understand that they're not alone, and really just provide them support. And so every week or as often as I can possibly get someone on here to share their journey and their story and what they're doing, I want to do it. And so today I have the honor of having Jeff Rogers on the show with me. Jeff is probably one of the most patient human beings on the planet because Ted Bogert's schedule has been a mess. And so Jeff has been very kind and gracious with his time. We're here to talk about two of his two books, After the Uniform and Strengthen the Positive for Veterans. And so I'm very excited to have you, Jeff. Welcome to the show.
Ted, thank you so much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate this opportunity to speak to you and your audience about some really important stuff when it comes to veterans.
Very important. And so I have to give a shout out. I think you found me after Baron Mills posted on FAVOB, perhaps somehow, somewhere. You probably found me there. A lot of vets have been reaching out to me for that, so I got to give a shout out to him. I did post about it. If you are a veteran or know a veteran who has a business or has a struggle or has a story and a journey, which they all do, and they would love to come on the show and share that, we welcome them. So, Jeff, tell us a little bit about you. I told you before we went live, the audience loves an origin story, kind of a point A to point B story. So tell us about Jeff Rogers.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. So I entered the military back in, don't shoot me, 1987. So 1987, and I initially joined the United States Air Force as an electronic warfare systems technician.
Wow,
that sounds really impressive. But really what I did was I worked on the systems that prevent the enemy from seeing our assets, our planes coming.
Very cool.
So, or going this way or going that way. So I worked on those systems to make sure that the jamming was being done and all the deception and stuff like that was being done. So I did that for quite a while. My first assignment was at Griffiths Air Force Base, which has long since closed. So just want to let you know that. But they did have like a Woodstock 2, I think, at that location, which is another story. We'll have to have another show just about that, I guess. But from my electronic warfare work, I got sent over to Korea for a year on a remote assignment. And on my way back, I said, I want to do something different. So I applied for and I became a tech school instructor. So I was doing electronic warfare and I became an instructor to teach others how to do electronic warfare.
Very cool.
And I got bitten by the bug, Ted. What do you want me to say? I got bitten by the bug. Once I got in the classroom and once I realized that I could really have an impact on people's lives and their careers, it was really something that I really enjoyed.
It's awesome.
So as my time in tech school was kind of wrapping up, I was looking for other training opportunities. So I ended up being blessed with the opportunity to be an Airman Leadership School instructor in the professional military education space. And that's how I came to Florida. So I was at MacDill Air Force Base and I worked at the leadership school there. And as I was kind of getting toward the end of my career, I became the non-commissioned officer in charge of the First Term Airman Center / Professional Development Center at MacDill. And that was a job that I was, again, I loved that job as well. The command chief at the time had asked me to go ahead and pick up that role. So I sure did. And my last assignment was back to Korea for another remote assignment. But this time I was back in my old career field and doing electronic warfare stuff on fighter aircraft. So that's the military origin story.
Wow.
And that's the easy part to talk about that. That's because that was the stuff that it was all structured, it was all laid out for me.
Yes.
Much like I'm sure plenty of your audience understands what it's like when you're in the military. It's all lockstep. You do this, you do this. It's mission first. It's all those different things. And so I retired from the military. I retired in 2007. And some people are going to probably listen to this and say, geez, this guy retired in 2007. This is 2025. Why is this such a big deal now? Well, I'll tell you.
Good. Please tell us.
When I got out of the military, I started working for an insurance company. I won't mention the insurance company, but we'll just say that it was an insurance company here in the state of Florida. And anyway, so and I was a corporate development manager there. Really nice job. Things happened. Next thing you know, I didn't have a job. I won't get into the details of that, but I lost my job.
Wow.
So I went from getting out of the military. I worked for an insurance company for quite a while, and I lost my job, and I had to reset all over again. Now, what am I going to do?
Right.
My transition from the military to that first job was really, really simple because I had my job ready before I actually got out.
How did you know what you wanted to do? Because that's part of we talked about this before we went live. Part of the struggle that vets tell me is I've got this big title or this thing. I'm working on electronic warfare to block the enemy. That's really hard to go, okay, now I'm a corporate development for an insurance.
Right. Well, the airlines are not looking for people who are looking to jam radar. So that was pretty much out of the question. Once I got bitten by the bug, though, I realized, the training bug, that is, I realized that helping people get better at what they do is what I'm good at. It's what I love to do. So I wanted to continue that by going into the human resources / corporate development arena. And that's where I've been ever since. I've had all sorts of different roles, from learning and management systems to corporate development manager to right now what I am is I'm a change management and training lead for a company that works directly with the Veterans Affairs, the Department of Veterans Affairs. So that's what I do.
So you were able to take that bug, that passion of training, and figure out that you could do that out in corporate world, in the big corporate world. That's amazing. I mean, I love that, because if you didn't have that bug and you had been just, and not just to minimize it, but just electronic warfare, I feel like it would have been harder. My experience talking to vets, a very difficult transition.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. That I was able to find my niche in training.
Yes.
Many folks don't have that luxury. They don't have that luck to find that, to get that bug, to get bitten by whatever it is that's, as you said, their passion. So many times when people are getting out of the military, they are absolutely lost.
Yes.
How am I going to translate electronic warfare into some sort of civilian role? Right. Well, some people will say, well, geez, it's electronics, it's this, it's that. You could go to work for an electronic firm or maybe even an IT firm in today's terminology. Of course, we didn't have IT back in those days. No. I'm not even sure we had Windows, but that's another story as well.
I love it.
But so getting back to that lost feeling.
Yeah.
I was lucky that I had my first job, and I thought that's all I really needed. I got a job, I'm good to go. Paychecks will continue to come in. My family, I'm covered. Everything's good. Then I lost that job.
Yeah. And
now I felt what it was like to leave the military without that security of what's going to be next.
Yes.
Thankfully, that didn't last too long, about 6 months or so, if I'm being honest. And then I got another job with a major utility here in Florida. And I was part of their learning and development team there as well. I was the learning systems administrator there. And I also did all kinds of courses, and I taught all kinds of trainings and all those kind of things. Fast forward, because we can't have, an hour of my origin story here.
No. We will talk about the books, I promise.
Fast forward to just a few years ago. Unfortunately, my mom passed away in 2000. And, one of the things I always told my mother that I wanted to do, I would say, Ma, someday I'm going to write a book. I don't know what it's going to be about, but someday I'm going to write a book. And she passed away without me getting to that realization. She always gave me the confidence and the assurance that I could do it someday. She said, you definitely have a book in you somewhere. It's just, it's just a matter of just getting it all written down and taking the time to do it. And you never have time to do anything because you're so busy all the time. At least that's what she thought. I wasn't busy. I was always just, Anyway. So my mom passed away, and what I actually did was I started a TikTok channel. And I'm not saying I'm any kind of TikTok creator at all. It was, honestly, I was doing it for me more than I was doing it for anybody else.
Sure.
And my message on that was accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative. And what I would do is I would get on pretty much daily and have different tips and tricks of things to do that you could be positive and you could have a positive life, because COVID was just kind of finishing up, and you remember how it was. Everyone was definitely out there.
Yeah.
It was very negative atmosphere. I'll just say it that
Where
way.
did that idea come from? Are you naturally a positive person? Did you feel like you got tired of hearing all the negative? Where did the idea come from to focus on that?
I think it would be, I was tired of the negative.
Yeah.
And I'm the kind of person that through my seasoned wisdom, in other words, as I got older, I realized that it's so easy to be negative and so easy to be upset and so easy to be miserable.
Yes.
Because all you have to do is just kind of fall in line with all these other miserable, negative people.
So true.
But to stay positive, sometimes that takes a little bit of extra effort.
That's right.
So it could just be holding the door for someone at the grocery store if it doesn't have the automatic doors. It could be just as you're walking around that, someone looks at you eye to eye and you smile. Oh, no. So it's those little things.
Yes.
And as my TikTok channel grew to, I probably had maybe 200 followers.
Woo! That's awesome.
Yeah. I was knocking them down. But as that was growing, I realized that I felt like I was back in the classroom again.
Right.
And, my job today, I do training, but it's all virtual. The vast majority of it is actually training videos and user guides and all those different things that you would do for training development. But I don't necessarily have the opportunity as much to get into a classroom environment. And that's really what I was missing. So as time went on, I kept thinking about that book thing. I kept thinking about that book. And while this time frame was going on, I was actually the primary caretaker for my dad at the same time. So trying to actually do any kind of book writing was out of the question.
Right.
Well, unfortunately, my dad passed away last year. And when that happened, I didn't have the military anymore. I didn't have that classroom feeling anymore. Not to say that was critical or anything like that, or really important compared to, I didn't have my parents anymore.
Right.
So I was lost. Now we're talking 15, 16 years after the military, after I actually retired. And I felt like I was back to square one again. Right. I was lost. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I was. I didn't know what I was going to do next. Sure, I have this job and it's a great job and I love it. Sure, I have my family, and of course I love my family, but trying to figure out who Jeff was anymore was getting more and more difficult. So I was still doing my TikTok channel, still doing my thing there, and I decided I wanted to go to the next step. I'm finally going to do this book thing.
Good.
So I went from accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative, and I changed it to basically strengthen the positive. That's what I want people to do. I want to strengthen the positives in their life. So as I started to do that, my initial project was I started to make a journal, and a journal that people could use, because I've done journaling. It was very therapeutic for me, and I thought, well, I'm sure there's other people like me. So I started to do this journal, and it was actually called Strengthen the Positive, the journal, and I happen to have it right here.
Oh, I love it. Awesome.
Yes. So it's this is 30 days. It's a 30-day journal, and you go through, and it is you get a daily prompt, and you have to kind of do some reflection and write down things, because what I learned when it came to whether I was trying to learn something, or whether I was trying to reflect, or whether I was trying to do anything positive, I had to write it down. Thinking I'm going to do something is one thing, but actually writing it down and having a plan, or reflecting about what did happen by writing it down, can be much more effective. So I started with the journal. So it was Strengthening the Positive, the journal. That was the first thing I started. And as I got through and kind of did that, I wanted to do more. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to do something that was going to be focused on veterans. So I said, well, geez, I could do another journal, but I still have this book in my head. So what can I do to help people who are feeling like me? And the military transition to civilian life is such a it's such a big thing. It's such a big concept.
It is.
That there are plenty of resources out there. There are plenty of books and things, but what I found is oftentimes those books are targeted more toward the people who are not in the military, or weren't in the military, so they can understand what the military person's about. Well, that's great for the person who's going to hire a military person, but it doesn't do anything for the military person themselves. So, and I'm not trying to say anything bad or about those resources. They're great. They've helped thousands or millions of people, I'm sure. But what I wanted to do was provide practical advice, and that's what it is. I don't have a whole lot of BS in these books, or in this book. I don't have a whole lot of fluff. I kind of do what I can to tell it like it is, just like I would if I was in the classroom. And that's also what I do when I do my talks as well. So, this Strengthen the Positive platform or movement, if you will, is not just the books. It's also speaking. It's also I'm developing some actual programs that I want to be able to put out to folks, so they can help themselves and help others as they go through that transition.
It's amazing. I think well, I know for a fact, I don't think the amount of veterans that I've had on here, that is the number one struggle. And trying to find your way while you're missing that structure and camaraderie. And you're out in a world where that doesn't seem to matter. Certainly not like it did in the military.
Right.
And trying to maneuver through it, it becomes very easy to fall into focusing on the negative, the what ifs, the negative, because the world will absolutely give you as much negative as you will allow it to give you.
Oh, without
give me an example. If a veteran's listening right now, what's something that they can do to strengthen the positive? What's something that time and time again works for you?
It's about community. So when we're in the military, we have all these folks that are around us that are in the same boat that we're in. We're all doing the same mission. We're all doing the same thing. We're all heading in the same direction. when we get out of the military, what we find is the world has continued on without us. And we're jumping on a moving conveyor belt.
Right.
And depending on, I mean, it could be going very fast or it could be going very slow, but usually it's going pretty fast. So for me, and the biggest piece of advice that I have is try to, number one, find out what your next mission is. For me, it was training. It was helping others. It was trying to make them better at what they do every day. But not everyone has that. So number one is try to find that thing, the thing you're passionate about. It may be something that you did while you were in the military, or maybe it was something that you were doing before you were in the military, but the military became just a speed bump in that passion. The second thing is community, and that's the first thing I mentioned, although it's the second thing on my list. Community. A community does not have to be 50 people. It doesn't have to be, in my case, a squadron full of people. It can be one or two people that you really trust, that you can say anything to. Maybe it's your significant other. If they have a similar background, maybe they served in the military as well, so they kind of understand. But if it's not, then maybe it's someone else. So one of the things that I do, and this isn't necessary for everybody, but I get involved with veteran service organizations. Mm-hmm. I'm a member of the Air Force Sergeants Association. I'm a former division president for AFSA. I'm currently a member of the VFW, and I am also the post adjutant here in Spring Hill, Florida, for my American Legion post. So amazing. that connection. Now, just keep in mind, I am not one of those people who is at the post every day and I'm doing all kinds of different things. It is something that I'm doing that reaches out to that community. We have our meetings. We talk about this. We talk about that, the troubles we're having, the advice that we give each other. And that is very, very helpful. That's awesome. But it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be from a veteran service organization. Maybe it's someone that is just, they've been through similar things as you. Maybe it's a battle buddy, someone that you actually went through stuff with. But it's all about community. The biggest thing is not keeping it to yourself. Do not suffer in silence. And I say suffer in silence because that's exactly what you're doing. If you're a veteran out there and you're just sitting there and hating life right now, and it's because you haven't talked to anybody. Right. So community, find your mission, find your new mission, and get your community. Again, it could be just a few people. It could be a bunch of people. I guess if you're an introvert or an extrovert, I guess that'll kind of determine the size of your community. But you can't keep it to yourself. You just can't.
So tell me as we wrap up, I think what I want to do is invite you back to talk more in depth about maybe the workshops you do and maybe the journaling. Because I think, I absolutely know what you're doing will impact it. I know it's already impacted lives, but it'll certainly impact the lives of the people who watch the show. What's the best way? So that's an official invite, by the way, Jeff. I want you to come back. What's the best way for people to follow you, find out more about you, purchase your books? Is there a specific website is it StrengthenThePositive.com? Is that the best way for them to really find out all things about Jeff Rogers?
Yes, that's the quickest way. StrengthenThePositive.com. That's my website. Talks all about what my movement is all about. Also, it gives links to the books. The books are available on Amazon. So that's where they're at. And if you go to the books page, you can go to the different links. Also, it talks about the workshops that and my keynotes that I do, whether it's called Standing Still. There's another one called Purpose in the Positive. I was going to say Positive Purpose, but I changed the name recently. So that's what happened there. And Ted, I want to, before we finish off here, again, I want to thank you for letting me on your show here. It's been great. They used to pay me to speak, so that's why I can't seem to shut my mouth. So I apologize.
No, I love it. No, that's a gift, and you're using your gift, and that's something I want to talk about too. There's sometimes people can't find their gift, and so you have a gift of communication and teaching and instructing and inspiring, and so that's a gift, and you're actually utilizing it for the good. So I want more people to see that. So I want you guys to go to StrengthenThePositive.com, follow Jeff on all of the links that I have below on his social media. And then I promise you, we're going to have Jeff Rogers back because he has a lot more to share and a lot more impact to make. And huge thank you again for your service, Jeff, and all that you do for our community. You all reach out to Jeff, go to StrengthenThePositive.com, and we'll be back. If you have a hero who should be on the show, please reach out. If you need assistance, getting assistance, reach out. You can reach out to me. I bet you can reach out to Jeff. We'd love to get you to where you need to be. And don't go it alone. Agreed with that.
One more thing.
Yes.
Veterans or friends of veterans, if you're thinking about having this guy talk to him, do it. He makes it very simple, very easy. Yeah, I talk for a living, but he makes it easy. So definitely hook up Ted, and he'll be great for you.
You all are a blessing, truly a huge blessing. And I'm very grateful for each and every one of you. All right, guys, we'll see you soon. Jeff, thank you so much.